Welcome into the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and on today's episode, we'll look at Florida's offense versus Utah's defense. This performance, not a pretty one. Another difficult day for Billy Napier's offense. I'm going to break down all of the action for you, extremely in-depth, as I'm going to draw a conclusion at the end of the video that lets you know what I think about the future of Florida's offense based upon the 14 games we've seen thus far. But first, as always, if you like this content, sub to this channel, follow us on social media, check out our podcast where each and every Monday we bring you in-depth analysis of the Florida Gators. Support our efforts to bring you more of this content by giving us a donation on Patreon. We call that a dono. And lastly, for the first time ever, you can also purchase some merch. That link is in the description. All right, without further ado, let's jump into the film and see what exactly went wrong for Florida's offense.
I have 50 plus plays to look at, so I'm going to go a little bit quicker than I have in past film reviews on a lot of these plays, especially since we've already seen Billy Napier's offense in year one. Right out of the gate, as we expected from the podcast, Utah is actually expecting Florida to pass, and Florida is going to pass, coming out with an aggressive bunch set here and not a run formation. And Utah, again, not loading up the box here either, expecting pass. However, not employing a safety here at the start. This looks like it could be cover zero from the start. We've talked about Graham Mertz and his ability, of course, pre-snap to read defenses quite well. It's one of the things he excels at, and that you really wanted to use a lot of post-snap action to confuse him. You'll see a lot of post-snap action by Utah in this game. They had a rather complicated game plan for a college defense. They executed very well on the back end. So right here at the start, you're going to see as we open up, we're going to actually reveal what's happening here. And this coverage, he's going to sit down low. On this side, it's going to be a cover two, really. And on this side, it's going to be a high-low concept. All the routes Florida run here are actually pretty good. You're going to get a sit route here by Jackson, corner route by Ricky, go route here. As Florida's offense tends to do, you're going to get both Ricky and Caleb Douglas in about the same area at the same time in this route combination, which raises questions for me. This combination you can, of course, run, but the timing's not quite here. Then you get a dig from Odom. Odom's actually wide open and is the easiest throw, but in fact, almost all of these throws could have been made. This is a really nice route combination set versus this defense, and a good play call to open things up. Mertz is going to backpedal, put his foot in the ground. You want the ball to come out right after this, which it does. Timing is perfect here. Foot in the ground, ball comes out, decisive read. Take your easy throw, get the game started off right. And now you're going to see up top of your screen here, Odom opening up, coming available as well. Good protection to start the game. Good completion to get things going. Moving the ball down the field, a nice 8-yard pickup on first down. So things are starting off well. 2nd and 2 now for Florida. We're going to motion Ricky across the formation. He's being chased here. This would indicate man defense, although not always, but the key here is man defense. Florida's going to elect to play this straightforward and safe with their script. Of course, I would love to see Florida be more aggressive. Man here, one safety, 7 in the box, Utah expecting a run. I'd love Florida to be more aggressive in these situations. However, we're going to elect not to do that. We're going to go jet sweep right here. Jet sweep here. Odom's job is to turn the shoulders of the defender to the interior part of the field. So essentially we're racing Ricky and the defender across the formation, and the goal is this. That's not going to happen. Good defense here by Utah. He recognizes, eyes in the backfield, ID what's happening, ID the fake, sees the handoff, knows his job is to make sure, notice this step right away. Quick step by the defender here. Step outside, great work, get the hands on him. Step outside, wall this off so that you can allow the chase defender and then your linebacker to come through here, as you see, and cut this play off. So that play is made entirely here by number 8 of Utah. Nice play. Takes what could have been potentially a very big gain. If Odom's able to get him turned inside here, this race leaves Ricky one-on-one at the sideline. Definitely a first down, could be a big gain instead. That does not happen. We actually get stopped short of the first down, and now it is 3rd down and short. 3rd down and 1. Again, Utah comes out man defense, single high, loading the box here. 8 defenders in the box, matching Florida's own set here. Aggressively posturing versus the run. What happens here is a pre-planned, take a look here, Pre-planned tactic by Utah they successfully used against Florida right there. Watch it again. Watch the D tackle, the defensive end switch right there. Just before the snap, very aggressive little move. And that is going to lead the right side of Florida's line to jump. First Xanders and then George right there. Again, they're just shifting. A lot of teams do this, but this is definitely done on purpose to encourage a chance for Florida to jump, which they get here. Now, you're going to see this happen more often than not in this game. I don't think the crowd noise was the issue here. As we can see, when they actually make this move, Mertz is not even making a clap snap or anything like it. They just see the movement in front of them. This winds up becoming a false start. 3rd and 6 now. You're going to see by Utah's depth of the linebackers, although they still have 7 guys in the box, they are expecting Florida to pass. A little bit deeper drop here. Expecting Florida to pass. Florida here is going to run the following route combination. Right here, we'll freeze it. Only 4 coming for Utah. Following route combo is going to be here and here. In my opinion, this is too early to run the out route here, in large part because they're going to pass this stuff off. And as soon as he sees the number 2 receiver go here, and as soon as he sees the number 1 receiver going, they're just going to pass those off on this side. And then here we're going to get double hitches. Billy loves to run hitches right at the sticks. It's something that we saw at Louisiana. We've seen it at Florida. Other teams know this. So they're going to play 2 high way up top in case Florida tries to get frisky with a bomb, and then basically play the first down line, knowing Billy prefers to get these first downs kind of right at the sticks. Take a look at what you see right on your screen. There's Ricky on the end. Here's your defender keying this out route here as he watches the 1 go in. He now sees the 2 come out, stay home. He's going to naturally guard Ricky. He's covered up here, double cover the tight end here into this little spot. Caleb Douglas bottled up here, and now you have your check down. The problem with these checkdowns that Florida runs, and we've talked about this, is rather than having Montrell do what he could do, halfback middle route, put some more pressure on him, even a wheel route, do anything to create more pressure on the defense and threaten getting the first down, he's going to catch the ball. Look where he's going here. He's actually just slightly ahead of Mertz. He's 4 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He now has to go 10 yards to get a first down, where you have defenders, all of which have eyes on the quarterback. That's a problem. Even if this pass gets completed, is a bad pass. Even if it gets completed, you can see 1, 2, 3 defenders, 4 down here versus 1. It's not going to happen. So this play design leaves a lot to be desired for a lot of different reasons. Essentially, Utah is able to easily cover the concepts Florida has. The only real throw he could have tried right away here is this one. Right? He can go to this one right away, but that is going to be clamped down by the corner. Instead goes check down, needs to make a much better pass here. Again, this pass needs to be out in front of him, needs to be here. He puts it over his head here, and unfortunately this goes for nothing. So Florida has a promising drive, or at least a promising few plays, go for naught, and they punt. Although Mertz is certainly not AR, he can run. He is athletic enough to run, and Florida's going to use him here on his zone read. There's your zone read. Edge defender comes in. All Mertz is doing is eyeing him. If he takes enough steps to the inside, he's going to keep this and roll to the outside. He makes the right decision here. Correct decision. He's committed. He now can't stop Mertz. Now, obviously, if this is AR is going to leave this guy immediately. And this is why AR was so dangerous when he was able to run this play, was because he's going to already be turning the corner on this defender. And now he's going to pressure on this defender. And instead of Mertz, who's going to run for his life here and kind of squeak one by, getting a nice gain, AR might be up here through the window, even making a move here to the outside. Regardless, Utah's ready for this. Defender here on the backside, as well as defender clamping down here. But a nice exhibition by Mertz on film. Hey, I will run the zone read. You have to honor me. You can't just clamp down on our running backs. That certainly will matter to Florida's running game success as the season goes on. You're going to have teams believing Mertz will keep it. A nice example of it right here. 2nd and 5, Utah with a 7-man box here. Florida, 1, 2, 3, 4, come on, 5 and 6. All right, so 6 players here versus 7. Mertz, not as much of a threat, of course, as AR, so these numbers aren't as great here. Florida down a man in the run game. You're going into a loaded box, not an 8-man box, but a 7-man box is still disadvantageous. Florida was not successful running versus these heavy boxes. And right here, the offensive line is generally doing a fine job holding line of scrimmage. You can have this push here as long as we turn the shoulders in the zone blocking scheme. But unfortunately here, we don't hold those blocks. So it looks like we're riding them out correctly, whereas last year we'd see this continual progression towards the sideline. Both blocks are lost right here at the point of attack, and that hole evaporates pretty quickly. Winds up going for just a couple, right back to the line of scrimmage, really. So we're right back to 2nd and 5 here, a no gain into a heavy box. Again, Florida passed the ball a lot in this game, and they should have because they faced so many loaded boxes. Teams, I think, all season long are going to prove or make Florida prove that they can beat them with the pass, and Utah certainly did that on Thursday night as they wanted no part of what Florida did to them last year where they ran all over them. 3rd and 5 now for Florida. We talked earlier about how teams know that Billy likes to go for the stick, so Billy is going to counter with this play. We're going to bring Khalil Jackson over the top as we run Ricky right along the first down line. Notice how Utah positions their 4 defenders. Basically a wall sitting and waiting for these first down throws at the line. Mertz is going to do a nice job here opening up, reading his deep receiver right away. That's not there. He's 2-on-1 with the safety over the top. He's then going to come right around to his primary throw window, which is both Ricky and then the shot over the top. He correctly reads the right throw as this one. Unfortunately, just puts this ball a little bit too far out in front of Khalil Jackson. Just a touch too far, and then obviously this is a tight window. You can see even if this ball is thrown really well, Jackson's going to take a hit almost immediately upon catching it. So very small window, precise throw here. I think one of the difficulties of Billy's offense is even on a relatively short 3rd and 5, we do not have on film receivers that are really wide open. We don't have easy throws in these situations. These are tight throws, difficult scenarios. Our other receivers on this are not open. You have Xanders here running a pretty weak hitch right into a waiting defender. Then, of course, you have the aforementioned check down right across Graham Mertz, which is, again, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, something Billy loves to do, something I do not like for reasons you see here. I don't know how that's ever going to be an effective check down. Either way, this throw is just barely missed, and Florida's off the field again. Florida was debuting many freshmen during this football game, and one in particular, Eugene Wilson, call him Trey, as he's the 3rd. He's going to run an orbit motion here across the formation. Now you're going to see they are not playing man defense. He's not going to follow him. He's going to bump up here. They're going to drop down the other safety to come into the window. Nice little action with the play fake here. Notice how it really fools quite some time here. The other safety still eating this fake. He does not recognize where the ball is. Of course, he does right away. But this play largely works because this fake is really well done by Mertz. The ball is hidden. That's good work by Mertz. Look at that. Lots of good action there. We're off to the races. Now we've got a quick athlete on the perimeter. And because of that quality fake, he's able to split right through here and squeeze a few more yards out of this, picking up almost a first down out of that play and showing off his explosiveness. So nice work there. 2nd and 1. Last time we saw Florida was 2nd and short. They opted to run it. This time, I like this call a lot better. We're going to run play action. If you are a play action-oriented team, now's the time to do it. Florida's going to key off something they just did last time. They're going to fake the jet sweep, the same play we saw on 2nd and short. The same guy chasing, looking like man coverage again. And now you're going to see on the back end here that Utah's actually rotated their safety over the top here. And they're dropping back here, leaving a ton of space for the exact route that Florida is going to run. Very, very nice work here. We're going to bring our receiver across the formation. Going to give him the eye candy here. By the time he picks up that we're keeping it, which you see right here, no chance he can run with this route. This is a great design. Mertz's first read is, in fact, right here on the money to Burke. And we are rolling up the field for easy money. Easy money, big gain. Things seem to be looking pretty good right now for Florida's offense. Utah played a ton of man defense in this game, despite the fact that their secondary was their weak point coming into this game. Again, showing a lot of disrespect for Florida's ability to pass the ball, or perhaps even Florida's willingness to challenge them downfield. Man defense here yet again. See the chaser, man with the cushion right here. Florida going to take advantage of the nice play call here. We're going to fake the run, only to then drop back like we're going to throw a vertical to then hit the running back that we ran the fake to. So nice design here. Really works. You get the entire defensive line into the backfield in this narrow area, which is what this requires to make this play work. Now we're going to try to wall off everything you see here and give ourselves the sideline, which is what Montrell gets. Down the sideline we go. Fumble ball, ground caused, good to go. Florida, again, picking up steam now, looking competent on offense and having a nice drive. In hindsight, Florida should have just run the same exact screenplay again because Utah, now not in man. Notice how they're not going to follow across here. Not in man, however, heavily posturing in the box here, expecting a run. Florida is going to counter with a pass. I like that idea, except I do question how often Florida wants to run play action in these situations. Florida now inside the 20. Do you need play action here, especially when look at the pre-snap move here by Utah, right? They are bringing pressure into this. One of the reasons they're bringing pressure into this is they tend to know that if Florida does play action a pass, they're probably not going to run a lot of wide receivers out of these bunch sets. And you're going to see that right here. We have 2 receivers running out, which means Utah is a safety right here. Utah has 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've talked about this a lot. They have 2 versus 1 on both sides of the field. Neither of these guys are options, even if this is blocked up correctly. However, you would have an option here with Jackson on the orbit had this play being run. So you could have kept a little wrinkle here, right? You faked this last time I ran the screen. This time you could have thrown to the orbit motion. That would have absolutely given you something. Instead, unfortunately for Florida, the worst case scenario ensues. The risk of play action happens here as our right tackle, newly minted from Alabama, George here. I think he's really more of a guard. He's played a lot of tackle, but watching him on film here, he's slow to get back. Take a look at his footsteps here. Not fleet of foot. I think probably more suited for guard, but Florida's got problems across the offensive line in general. He gets beat with a speed rush, and then Odom here gets beat with his own block down at the bottom, and that's going to create major problems as Mertz gets rid of the first one. If we don't have this one, we've survived this one, and we're still alive, and maybe we find Jackson here. Instead, what we find is a sack, and now 1st and 10 becomes 2nd and long. 3rd and 12, again, Florida's going to do what they like to do, line up in what I consider a pretty narrow split offensive setup here. We're on the right hash, and our furthest wide receiver is Douglas right here, and he's maybe only 6 yards off the hash. All 11 players are in a very tight bottle here. Very tight bottle here. That makes things confusing for the quarterback. I think it also makes things easier for the defense, especially on these down and distances, as they are able to do what you're going to do here. Let's take outside leverage, funnel this to the middle. Let's take outside leverage here, funnel this to the middle, right to our safety. Let's make this field really small and really difficult to operate with these narrow splits. Florida's going to come out running a mesh route, motion in. No one is following, indicating zone most likely. 2-back set with Ricky being one of them. And now you're going to see Utah does open up in a zone. Florida runs a mesh. Now, mesh can be run against man or zone. It's definitely best against man, as you want these rub routes here to kind of run the men off. Against zone, they can basically wait for you to run into them. This play has only one option for a 1st down. It's 3rd down and 12. Utah, again, pre-snap indicates they're probably playing zone to you. So if you're going to use that idea, you would think, maybe I kill this play, right? But regardless, we stick with it. Now, if you're Mertz, there is only one option that's going to get you a 1st down, and it's going to be the hitch route on your mesh. Now, you're not going to see this happen. That hitch route is there if the ball is thrown perfectly on time. There's a safety behind him. That ball potentially results in a 1st down. He's right at the sticks. You see him go off your screen right here. He's going to be right at the sticks for a 1st down. That's Frazier's. That ball could have been thrown in between here. It's a tight window. Could have been thrown. However, we elect for a ball that is never going to get a 1st down. And largely because Florida's routes, as I've talked about before, lead defenders into quality spaces to make tackles. And let me give you an example here. We're running Ricky on a wheel out of the backfield into this zone where there we have a defender who is watching because he's in zone, the quarterback, and his responsibility. This allows him to basically play both of these routes, right? If Mertz goes here, he's on top of that. And if Mertz goes down here, he rallies down to make the tackle. So nobody is left one-on-one, and that creates the problem. This is 2-on-1. Now, if you're throwing short of the sticks and you're getting one-on-one matchups, that can work for you, especially if you get an athlete moving with speed and a defender coming downhill. But this kind of stuff here, where your wheel is running right into where your mesh route is running, really leaves you only with one viable option. Now, again, Mertz should take that viable option and stick that hitch route on the mesh that you can't see. But if the rest of the options give you no shot of getting a 1st down, that percentage, that play, in my opinion, has a low EV. And that's part of what I think is very frustrating with Billy's passing offense. This is 3rd down and 12. This is really hard to pick up for any offense. But whether it's 3rd and 5, 3rd and 12, or 3rd and 3, a lot of the route combos Billy employs have a low expected value. There's not a lot of open receivers. A lot of them don't work in concert with each other. And oftentimes the route actually helps bring a defender into someone else's space to naturally lead you to rally down and tackle. 1st and 10, Utah here showing a 9-man box. Again, a lot of cushion, a lot of what Billy's offense yields because it's such a good running offense, at least it was last year. And in this game, Utah did not want to allow Florida to run, is a lot of, I think, what I'm going to call nice opportunities here to attempt to make things happen with very simple one-on-one routes. And you're going to see here what happens. Looks like 9-man on the snap. Of course, he's going to bail back, and Utah, again, does a nice job continually changing their back-end coverages. You don't want Mertz to just know exactly what you're doing. Florida, however, is going to elect to run here. And Utah, again, a nice scheme. Take a look. Utah's showing heavy box pressure, but on the snap, they're actually going to bring both of these guys back. We're going to bring pressure from this side, allowing them to deal with a lot of the threats Florida may throw at them and still keep 8 guys in the box, right? That's the name of Utah's game plan here, is make sure guys are on the back end, which you'll see, and make sure the box has enough guys to start Florida's rushing attack. That was a good game plan by Utah, well executed here, and they're going to wind up getting an easy stop for just a couple of yards on 1st down and 10. Again, Florida, I don't love Florida running into loaded boxes like this. Now, you can accurately say you don't know exactly if this box is going to stay loaded, and that's correct. You don't know till post-snap. It's another hard thing about Billy's offense when you line up like this. And look, teams do this really well, right? Sean McVay of the Rams, very successful in running these tight bunch sets. This is a real thing. You can do it well. Florida has not proven to do this well in the passing game to where teams are able to basically sit on the run game while pseudo playing these shorter passes Florida may run. That is the problem right now. If Florida was able to hit downfield passes out of these bunch sets with any reliability, you would be seeing different defensive tactics employed by other teams, but Florida has not proven they can consistently hit stuff out of this, and therefore teams are doing what Utah does, and they're bottling up Florida's running game here by keeping extra defenders down in the box. This is a corner who's just coming in. Again, there's nobody on this side of the field. They're bailing out deep. They're giving you these routes should you want them. They're taking the gamble. This is not what you want to run, and they are, in fact, correct. 2nd and 7 here. For any of you who had followed this channel for any amount of time, you know I love empty sets, especially when your team is more talented and quicker, which in this case, I think Florida, despite being young and inexperienced at the wide receiver position, actually had their best advantage versus an inexperienced and less talented Utah secondary. I think a better game plan from Florida would have been more of this. Also, Florida's offensive line was facing heavy numbers all day. Here's a chance for them to work 5-on-4. By spreading the field out, you give yourself a potential chance to actually have more time. It's kind of counterintuitive. By not max protecting, you give yourself potentially more time. Of course, spread offenses have been doing this for years as a way to counter bigger, stronger, and more physical teams. What we get here from Florida, though, and you can barely see, there we go, there's our 5 receivers right here in an empty set. And what you're going to get is a slot fade from Burke on press man. So Mertz basically decides he likes this. No safety right now. Again, look, pre-snap. Watch how Utah tries to time this up. Clap snap, not quite ready. Mertz now sees this safety roll back. He's now feeling pretty good. He definitely has cover one man. He IDs the safety. ID the safety. He stayed single high. No one else there. Hold him, hold him, hold him, hold him. Snap to your slot fade. That's beautiful work by Mertz. That's what a veteran quarterback should do. One more time. Hold, 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 hold. Snap to your throw. You like your throw. Boom. Ball's out. Right on the money. That's a perfect back shoulder ball. Defender can't see. Can't play defense if you can't see. Go to work by Burke. Go up clean. Make the catch on 2nd and 7 for a nice first down. This is a great example of what Mertz can do, obviously, when he's playing well. And I think a nice example of what Florida could have done. There's more opportunity here than just this. On the other side in the slot, you actually had a receiver break free there for what I think would have been an easy touchdown had Florida looked to the right on that. Had it been more time to survey the field, had Florida run more of these concepts in this game, I think they had a lot of chance for positive matchups. As it stands here, a nice positive gain. And Florida, towards the end of the first quarter, down 7-3, is set up again in opposition territory. 1st and 10, next play here. Safety is going to go off the screen. You can see him, and then you're going to see another super loaded box. We got 9 guys here in the box yet again. 8 for sure stacked inside interiorly. Same bunch set Florida ran earlier. Same opportunity up here for yards if we're more passing oriented, but we're a running team. Let's use the run fake to our advantage. This time, a simpler and much safer fake so we don't take a sack. Let's go with this instead, allowing Mertz to get his head up and roll out, which is what happens here. and then also get some nice action by Odom. Now, Odom was, to me, a very surprising development in this game. I guess Florida thinks he's some version of Travis Kelce, given how much they featured him, but it's a nice job here of shrugging off his defender. Take a look at this. Focus right here and watch him just lose his defender. Bye-bye. You can see him going on the ground kind of off your screen there. There he goes. Off your screen. Mertz delivers this ball perfectly. Really great job of quarterbacking. Stay calm, stay square, elevate your throw over the defender, which he does right here. Sticks this throw. No slowdown here by Odom. Off to the races for as much as Odom with a bionic leg can be off to the races. Makes a little move to the inside, uses the block by Ricky nicely, and we are still bumbling, stumbling down the field for another big gain. So back-to-back passing plays there that worked very well. Florida in business once again as the first quarter comes to a close. Another 8-man box displayed here by Utah. You've had 2 successful passing plays in a row. What looks to be yet again potentially cover 3 or cover 1 with 2 receivers with cushion against an inexperienced secondary. What do? You motion across Ricky where you see him chasing. That indicates man defense. If you're more passing oriented like myself, this is easy money, right? Let's take advantage of all of this space that we have, knowing pre-snap they're playing man. That is not what we want to do. Instead, we're going to hand this ball off into the teeth of an 8-man front and take our chances. And our chances here, not going to be great. Right here is the culprit, Barber. Probably one of Florida's best offensive linemen, if not the best one. Loses his block right here. Then sort of hooks and holds, probably gets away with it. But regardless, just not enough, right? We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you've got 7 with Odom, but Odom's coming across. He's not effective here in the pocket. Just not going to work out for Florida. A couple yards on 1st down and 10. So Florida's trying to run. They're trying to establish a run game. Hard to do it when you're running into an 8-man box where the team basically says, don't run pass. We're inviting you to pass. But if you want to keep running, you're going to have a difficult day. 2nd and 7 now for Florida. Again, what looks to be man from Utah pre-snap. Eligible receiver here and here. Safety just off your screen. What looks to be man, bottom here, receiver for Florida. Looks to be man. Post snap, here we go, and it is man. Right away we get man defense, man, man. Here's your rat in the middle, playing the middle, robbing what comes through. Route here, route here. Take a look at what we have right here. This is what you call an instant winner for a walk-in touchdown. Instant winner for a walk-in touchdown here for Xanders. This is the definition of wide open. Florida with a win here, but Mertz pre-snap has decided he's going to go to his boy Ricky. Understandable. When you know you get man coverage, you often just pick your favorite matchup here. Ricky in this, though, has not won. Now, if you're a quarterback and you trust your offensive line, this is where you might take a look at the right side of the field, right? Look here. Don't love this. Snap back here. Easy touchdown. I would like to have seen Mertz do this, but I get it. I think in large part because Florida's not running a lot of passing plays like this all the time, especially in games. You tend to think I'm going with my guy pre-snap and I'm throwing it. We saw this last year. We're seeing it this year. Now there is a window to complete this pass, but this is good coverage. This ball needs to be how he threw it when he threw it to Burke earlier. That's good coverage. That's still going to be tight. Obviously, this is a layup, right? Wham, stick it. So if he wound up giving that a little bit of a read, he'd be good. He misses that one. Now, every single game, every quarterback, including NFL quarterbacks, are not always going to find the open receiver. As we've talked about before in previous videos, your job really pre-snap is to identify which side you want to go to. This is a clear side. He knows for sure he has man defense here with a single high safety that cannot get to his slot fade. It's an excellent pre-snap decision. This is far more muddled. He has no idea what's going to happen here, here, or here. He also has a defender down here. Much more muddled in the numbers game. This, however, is clean. So I don't fault him for looking at this. I merely illustrate Florida does have a win here on this. Unfortunately, no dice on this one. 3rd and 12. Utah again going to elect to play an aggressive man coverage versus Florida. A lot of aggression here. Just basically not a lot of respect. Mertz going to open up with an interesting read pattern here. He's going to open up with his eye window to the left, even though there is no one up at the top of your screen here. There's no one to look at. This is his left receiver. Here's your safety. And he's going to get this concept here. What he's really trying to hit here is Ricky on this Y cross. over here. That's what he wants to hit. That's the primary. So they're trying to clear this out, bring the safety to stay right there and have your throw window be over here. The fact that he reads to the left is a little interesting. The reason I say that is ideally, I think you'd want to open up looking to the right to get this safety to stay here, or even slide a little bit here to give yourself a better window. Either way, doesn't really affect the play here. He's going to open up and then climb, and now you can see he just begins to look at that, and then decides, I don't have that. The timing is not right, plus I'm getting a lot of pressure. In this case, Barber does actually a perfectly fine job shepherding this route away from him. His back foot hits. He's on the spot. Just climb into your pocket here. This pocket does hold up. Should be noted, this pocket does hold up. He now knows they have man. Perfectly reasonable decision to take off here. I like this decision. It's safe, an easy way to gain a lot of yards. And then this decision here, maybe not so great. You don't want to get blown up like he does, take a huge hit, fumble the ball, goes out of bounds. But either way, Florida now very close to a first down yet again. Let's see what happens. 4th down and 1. This time Florida's going to do it to themselves. We saw earlier that Utah got Florida to jump with a line shift. Not so this time. You're going to watch Mertz go hard count, and that is going to cause Barber to jump. Right here, hard count, there he goes. Right? Hard count, there he goes. Really unfortunate. Lot of stuff being off sync here. Ideally, what you'd like to see is only one guy jumping, especially on the right side of the field. As if the left side jumps, you really don't want anyone on the right side going. Now, if the guy next to you goes, you're typically just going to have to go, right? That happens all the time. But on the right side, you see that happen, then you see Odom go. These guys doing the right job here. They're still locked in as they should be because the ball's not snapped. And what are we doing? Receivers locked in as they should be. We're not moving. But Mertz's hard count causes Barber to jump off sides, and that is unfortunate. I mean, false start rather, and Barber right here gives you the reaction every Florida fan had. Yep, right there. Come on, not again. This is brutal. And then you see Odom here giving you the same thing every Florida fan at home was doing, which is, come on, what are we doing? Look, head, think. Yep, I know. Frustrating. From 4th and 1 to 4th and 6, and a field goal opportunity that Florida would miss. After a brutal penalty that allowed Utah's drive to continue with 2 number 3s being on the field, Florida now down 14-3, and they're going to come out and run a concept that was excellent for them last year. They're going to run a split zone look here. 2 tight ends in the game, so 12 personnel for Florida. They're going to run a split zone. Boom. Tight end, including all the linemen, are going to block to the left. You're going to pull your H-back or other tight end here across the formation to the backside, kick out this guy, and hopefully allow your running back to have a nice big fat hole to run through here. Let's see how it plays out. Here comes your kick out block, which he gets. We're one-on-one right here. And, oof, if he makes that guy miss, here's your backside block, and you're off to the races, right? That's the hope. That's a dangerous running play. And really the first time so far on film we've seen Florida have a dangerous running play. Even though it didn't go for a lot, that was dangerous. That did have potential for a home run. So split zone, something Florida's run very well in the past. 2nd and 6, Florida now trying to establish some sort of running game. We still have 9 guys essentially in the box. They're still there. Now with Utah's distance here, as you've seen before, they're more likely expecting pass from what we've seen, and you're going to tell by their reaction here that they are staying still, right? Nobody's coming downhill. They're not bringing pressure. They're playing a little safe here. There's your 2 high. Florida's going to run a bunch of fakes. Here's one fake to Ricky coming across, and then we're going to run a handoff. We got a lot of action here, right? So we're essentially running a power run play. So Florida's not always zone. Here comes power coming across with the guard, tight end, tackle, guard TE counter here, essentially, right? Boom, boom. Nice little hole. And Florida's going to pick up a first down, even against a big box, with a gap run. Now, at times we saw Florida was actually more successful at power running than zone running. And that may, I think, be the case this season. I think this game indicated that Florida's zone blocking was tough. Florida has a huge offensive line. Generally not what you want when you're zone blocking. Typically, you want a faster, more athletic, lighter line. I'm sure Billy and Florida has reasons for why they're doing this, but at least through one game, this line might be better suited for power running, to take that beef and put it downhill rather than to take all that size and sort of have it shuffling left or right as a unit. We'll see. Time will tell whether Florida incorporates more gap running, but there is a rare version of success in Florida's run game to Trevor Etienne there picking up a first down. First and 10, Florida again in a bunch set, but this time a little wrinkle. We're going to stack 2 receivers here. And what do we get pre-snap? Well, you get the ideal look pre-snap, right? Take a look at all these guys in the box. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 guys in the box, right? That means 9, 10, safety, 11. 2 receivers. Well, the dream scenario is play action, boom, success. 3-on-2 with the entire, or 2-on-3 rather, with the entire field to go. 2 receivers covered in man with a safety with the entire football field to go. Both the linebackers take this play action bait. This is what you dream of. If Ricky here can win on this, he should be wide open. If we can win up top, he should be wide open. Instead, Ricky does not win. He's completely covered up here. Mertz looking for the bomb ball. This is also covered up top. And this throw just goes deep down the sideline to nobody. Not home. Douglas not home on that one. They stayed over the top on that. The route combinations here, as I've said before, just leave a lot for me to be desired. Getting this look pre-snap, there's so many things you can do to make this really hard on these guys. By simply doing what Florida does, which is just this, makes it so easy on them. He already knew he had the inside. He already knew he had the outside. As soon as it happens, boom, he's locked in, man. He's locked in, man. All questions and decisions are out of the window. Instead, you can imagine having these stem their routes together till about the 6 or 7 yard mark before making any kind of move. That's much more complicated for both of these defenders to decide what to do. And you can do a lot more, obviously, from there. Instead, again, Florida opts the easy route. Elects to just win, man on man, does not win. Nowhere really to go. And then we get a free releaser here because this is not Florida's blocking fault. They can't block all these guys, what they have in here. Free releaser eventually, and this is just not there. Winds up being an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10, if you guessed Utah's going to play man again, you're correct. Again, Florida getting so much information on this pre-snap that Utah is playing man all the time. Single high safety man. We're going to get to go in a bunch set over here. Trips, one of the hardest sets to defend. Man zone, etc. With one single high safety. The world is basically your oyster with this. Pressure being brought by Utah here immediately. They are sending 7, playing 4 behind versus Florida's 3 receivers. And they're going to bring this safety down here. So essentially they don't have anybody high. The single high rotates down here into this area in case Florida wants to bring somebody out into this portion of the field. Right here with your tight end. He's basically sitting on this, or your running back. Allowing all of the over-the-top options to be available. Florida does run deep over-the-top options. Unfortunately, not going to get a chance to look at this because ETN is going to get, unfortunately, just flat-out beat, and that ruins this play. On top of that, take a look at Barber here, your left tackle. He's also going to just get beat. Not ideal, right? You have to win your one-on-one matchups here if you're going to try to hit these big plays. It's another reason why this offense is tough. There's a low margin of error when you're based upon play action and you're based upon having to block and you're based upon running 11 and 12 personnel with tight ends frequently in here to block and help out. You're putting a lot of premium on your offensive line. You're not spreading the field very often. You're counting on these routes to be 15, 20 yards down the field. You need the time to hit them. You also need the right route combinations. And unfortunately here, we just don't get it done. And 2nd and 10 becomes 3rd and a mile. So again, the risk-reward of play action has not been working out in Florida's favor. 3rd and 22 now. What's in the playbook for this? Well, if it were me, most of you, again, who've watched this channel know I'd really fancy, having another quarterback back here. Drop a guy back here, drop this guy off the line, block for him, throw a ball back to him, try something crazy. The second best option, or maybe just the first best option if you're a traditionalist, is to do what Florida actually elects to do here, which I think is smart, which is to run a screen. Try to get some yards, maybe get 15 yards, try to get a punt off to a better scenario. This screen is actually well designed. I think Florida's screen game was one of the biggest improvements we saw in the offseason. It's funny to say that given how poor the offense performed, but the screens were actually well designed in general, and something that I think was missing from Florida's offense last year. They clearly addressed it this season. This is a well-designed screenplay. Lead blocker here, blocker here. We're going to get one here. If this ball is thrown better, Mertz elects to go around the defender here rather than trying to step here and fit this into there. That ball's thrown where it should be. We do have a chance to pick up maybe 10, 12 yards here. Ricky comes in here and then probably picks up, maybe 10 yards, let's say. Instead, drop pass goes for nothing. Florida goes backwards and winds up punting. After a muffed punt and a 51-yard field goal that resulted, Florida now down 17-3, 2:46 left in the second quarter. Crucial possession here. 1st and 10. Now, Utah still 7-man box almost on every single play. They're just not going to let Florida run. 8th man here watching, playing very aggressively still. Florida going to counter this with a pass. This time, Utah is playing zone. And again, Florida's routes here, these are long and slow developing, right? Here is Ricky Pearsall. He's going to run a corner route from the backfield. That takes a very long time to develop. In fact, that corner route would have potentially been there had Mertz. Right now, he's ready to throw. Right? Well, what's he looking at? Well, you got a corner on top of that route. That's gone. You've got a waiting defender coming underneath here. That's gone. You know that Ricky's running a corner route. He's nowhere near ready to get there. You're playing quarterback. What are you doing? What's your read? What do you have? You're ready to throw. Nothing. Now, he should, look at the pocket here. Great pocket. What he should do, knowing he has a corner route coming here, is just climb into this pocket and wait this out. Instead, he elects to throw an immediate check down, right? He should use his pocket here, climb into it, wait this out. This check down will always be there. The longer he waits, the better this check down will be. As a vet quarterback, he should know that. Instead, elects for the early check down, also misses the check down. A troubling game from Mertz throwing these simple, basic, short passes. We've talked about his completion percentage before. It was very good in this game at 70%. Probably should have been 80% given the throws that he had available to him. As a guy who's a career 56% guy, you know, he did a nice job in a lot of respects. Misses there, but really here the big miss is climb in this pocket, wait for this corner to develop, which you potentially have here. You've run off this corner. You can see that this guy is flat-footed, looking into the backfield. If he's flat-footed, you know you have that throw over the top. But he got a tough throw. Look how much time this takes. Ricky's only 7 yards past the line of scrimmage. Despite the fact that all this stuff has happened and we're this far into the play, that's just tough timing, right? I mean, what are you expecting there? You're expecting your quarterback to take the shotgun, right? There you go. 1, 2, 3-step drop. He's ready to throw. And if we want to hit Ricky, we got to go 5, 6, 7, 8 steps back here for the timing, or trust our 3-step drop, climb 4 steps, then throw. That's wonky. Unfortunately, winds up being an incomplete pass. Thanks to the end zone cam here on the TV broadcast, I can show you not the all-22, but at least you can see all the players on this route. And you can play quarterback here. Mertz going to take the snap, the obligatory play action, Florida's offense, which is obviously not faking anyone or doing anything in this point in time. Take a look at the linebackers. Nobody cares that this play fake is even occurring. Again, that's a problem when you're a heavy play action team. Also, the routes here are not necessarily a problem yet. Could be okay. Ricky's going to run a route that can best be described as I don't know what. Lots of jukes, very slow, runs into a defender. Meanwhile, Slaughter, starting his first game, it's a tough ask, right? First game as center, slides over correctly, over leverages, gets spin moved, put on the ground, and then gets to watch that D tackle just eat Mertz. But let's look at what else happens here with the routes. So he does have Douglas. Look, Douglas was open the most out of any receiver. Florida would be wise to look to him more than they look to Ricky, in my opinion. Douglas is here on this corner route. He can throw this ball flat, and he has a window right here to the sideline, right? So right now, if he's looking, which he's not, he's looking here. If he's looking at Douglas, he has a window flat to the sideline. Now, again, in college football, you would hope to be able to scheme up some easier throws at times. These are all hard throws. Available throw. That ball's there for sure. He's not looking there. He's looking over here. Now, let's see what actually winds up happening over here versus the zone. You get Jackson who's going over the top, and that's going to be an over the linebacker under the safety zone throw. Perfectly fine. There's space for this throw. The safety's coming down on it, but of course you could make it. But the question one has to ask is, why is Ricky then vertically pulling these linebackers even deeper, right? And let me give you an example. You could sit Ricky here instead on a hitch, and then you could run Khalil over top of him. This linebacker has to choose which one he's doing, a classic 2-on-1. Instead, Ricky is sort of running whatever route he seems to run, and then quite perplexingly, he's not actually going over here, where again, now you could be 2-on-1ing the safety. He's going to curl back right, keep watching it, right into, at the end of this play, right into the wake of Khalil. I don't know what that is. Hopefully a wrong route, but again, you see this a lot in Florida's offensive routes. There's two guys near each other. Oftentimes they're pulling a guy into the space. It doesn't make sense to me. I know for others out there breaking down film, it makes sense to them. Obviously, I'm just doing this really as a hobby and a way to bring you guys what's on the film, what's on the all-22, and what I look at. I'm certainly not aware of the exact play call and what the route should be. I just show you what I see. So keep all that in mind. But from what I see there, not a pretty picture. All right, 3rd and 19. Let's play the old game we played last time. Let's just find a way to check down and get some yards because that's really what we're looking for. Let's bring Livingston across, Florida's freshman tight end, who I think is the best tight end on Florida's roster, although you're not going to see this here. Nice catch, soft hands, turn the corner, and get sniped. That's unfortunate. Again, he's not going to get the first down. Maybe he gets up to here. Still extra yardage, and this is just sort of signifying Florida's first half here. Really just frustrating times here for the Gators. After an unfortunate catch by the punt return team inside the 10-yard line, which occurred more than one time in this game, Florida is backed up. Now let's see what happens here on 1st and 10 coming out of the half. Florida going to align to the bunch trip set yet again. Not been successful really thus far. Utah is going to counter with a million guys in here. Not really a million, but for those of you counting at home, that's 9. It's 9 guys. Here's 10 and 11 as a safety back here. Again, this looks pretty good to me. I'm liking this. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I want to work that. I haven't tried to work it at all today. Maybe I try now. I'm coming out of halftime, set the tone. There's opportunities abound. They're playing tons of man. They're pressuring us. If we can get the ball off, we could even run slants and get a touchdown because they're bringing guys all the time. Let's try that. Nah. Let's load up and run the ball right into the teeth of this. Right into the teeth of a 9-man front, right? Let's do this. This is awesome. And look, Utah's expecting this. I mean, they are coming downhill. They don't think for a second this is going to be a pass. They are filling holes, filling gaps. They got a great read on this. In comes the corner of the safety. Boom, fill the space on the edge. Great technique, great work. Ricky's doing his job. He's blocking here, sealing off this edge. This guy's not supposed to be here, but he's there. Boom, fill the hole, line of scrimmage. Excellent work. And we're done. Right, the goal of this play is to seal the edge in here and allow a one-on-one here. Well, that can't happen when Utah counters by bringing him right down the line of scrimmage and putting down Montrell. 1st and 10, run into a 9-man box. Not working out well. 2nd and 9, Utah flexing their defensive muscle now with what they're going to do pre-snap and post-snap. 2 very different looks. You can't see this in your back end. They're going to move their best player down here, their safety, over to the edge, make this look like they're going to get aggressive in here on the run. Florida again showing it could be a run package. And instead, as you see it happening now as the snap occurs, we're going to roll back into cover 3. Should be something Florida can take advantage of, but actually Florida just runs themselves right into the funnel that Utah wants them to, which is throwing short here to Odom. Florida's version of Travis Kelce, only not nearly as quick or athletic or as dangerous. And you can see that play goes for a smooth 2 yards. Again, cover 3. Here we are, right? We got issues with pass protection. Our left tackle is getting beat in speed rushes pretty much all the time. That's not ideal. First game there, it's fine. He's got time. He's young, right? But regardless, nothing here. If you're wondering what the routes are, you got a double covered hitch here. Up top here, you have a route that we could take all day long. I keep highlighting it. If you're going to play cushion, you're going to back off. Take this 5 yards. It's free. It's a free 5 yards. Here it is again. It's free 5 yards. Bam. Sling it out there. Look at that. It's Caleb Douglas. He's dangerous. Sling it out there. Free 5 yards. Florida does not want that. Pressure coming in. You got Ricky here again. Is bottled up pretty much all day. And double coverage here. And that's what you take right there. So it's not a bad decision by Mertz. There's really not a lot else to hit there. And unfortunately, that sets up another 3rd down. All right, 3rd and 6 now. Florida going to get some pressure again because why would Utah not pressure? A lot of routes Florida could have run here that would have been pretty nice. Look at the pressure Utah brings. Now, you're not always going to know this, but they're going to rotate a player back into this window from here. Florida's bunch routes, as Florida's bunch routes will tend to be, are rarely vertical. They're often like this. Here's a flat across the line of scrimmage on 3rd down and 6 route. We've got a clear out route here from Khalil, and Ricky is the target. Only problem here is Ricky's route is not even being run to the sticks. So if this ball is completed and he's tackled, we are not getting a first down. This is never getting a first down, and the route up here is running into an on-top cover man where that's not even an option. So again, if you're playing quarterback, what are your options here? Not good ones. There's a lot of other things you could run out of this that make a lot more sense out of this bunch set here. A million different options you could run that lead to multiple ways to get a first down. And again, you don't know what's happening here. By all accounts, as a quarterback, if I'm playing quarterback here, I think I have 3x3. I could have 4x3. I could have 4x3, right? I'm not sure what's going to happen. I've got to see post-snap. But I know this route combination pre-snap, I know if my routes are this, and then I know it's this and this, I really only have one option, which is Ricky, and the rest doesn't matter. This is like a bailout at the very end if I have to look at it, right? And that's what Graham does. He pulls up, watches the bunch release, he knows he's got to go to Ricky. Complicating factor is he's got a man right in his face, so he opens up a little bit earlier than he wants to, just gets the ball off. In reality, he should have hung on for a quarter second more because Ricky turns around and it gets on him a little faster than he expects. And as Florida's luck tends to be, tipped off Ricky, tipped off the defender, and right to the defender because that's just how things go for Florida. Frustrating, painful, but again, I don't want to say self-inflicted, but these are plays that I'm going to say have a low probability of success. There are not a lot of dangerous options here that defenses are going to see on film and fear from Florida's passing game, and I continue to believe that is hurting Florida's ability to play good offense. It's full-on ugly now, 24-3 early in the third quarter. I can't imagine any of you expected this to be the case with Utah missing 8 starters in this game on both offense and defense. Again, a secondary that was vulnerable. Florida now 1st and 10. We're getting another sweet setup out here. Big cushion. Looks like man pre-snap, single high. Just going to keep showing this to you all day long, Florida. See what you want to do about it. And now we're going to run a quick little ball fake, get your eyes downfield, ID the safety, he's still in the middle, snap your eyes around to what you want to go to, which is the out and up by Ricky. Good time, deliver a good ball. Ideally, this ball's out here and we're walking in for 6. But as Florida's luck on the day would be, we throw it way behind Ricky and he winds up getting stopped. Now look, Graham Mertz at times put those balls right in the money. This is not an Emory Jones situation where seemingly every pass is behind a guy. He just, I think aimed this one in there because Ricky was so open he didn't want to miss it, and Florida's offense obviously struggling, but this should be 24-10. And again, this is the kind of stuff I think I would have hoped Florida would run, given that they run a lot of 11 and 12 personnel and they do max protect, is more of this kind of stuff. Double move, spread the field out, take your chances on the perimeter, give these corners something to think about rather than the often one move routes Florida employs. They pay dividends here. Big play. This game is not over by any stretch of the imagination, and Florida on the move. All right, 1st and 10 for Florida. You'd love to see maybe a little pre-snap motion here to see if they're in zone or man because it's hard to tell right now. They could be in man, right? This could be man. This could also be zone. We don't know. We have no way to identify that without a motion man at least telling us. Turns out it's going to wind up being zone post-snap. Turns out our routes are going to be a tiny little flat combo down here to gain a couple of yards, and then Ricky over the top on a corner route. If you watch my Mertz video, you know for sure that Mertz's favorite throw is in fact a corner. It's the route he throws the best, and he sticks this one in here. It's a short corner, but there it is, stuck in there underneath the safety for a nice completion and a first down. So momentum seems to be building. There were a lot of frustrating screens last year, ran into numbers scenarios that did not make sense. Here, Florida's going to run a screen to the field side, the wider side, which is nice. And in fact, this play design actually is pretty good. We're going to get everyone moving over here. We're going to fake the handoff here. We're going to fake a power run here. I like a lot of the action we're showing to get Ricky coming back for a screen. And the key block here is Odom, right? Now, they still have 3 defenders waiting for you, but we are deploying our own set of blockers here late. Nice little sneak attack. Unfortunately for Florida's version of Travis Kelce here, we just don't get that block. We get shook. Now the play's in serious jeopardy. Are we going to lose 3 more yards here? No, missed tackle. He got so clean away that he misses the tackle. Now we're back to a promising play. 1, 2, and 3. So you can see if Odom gets that play, and we got speed here, could be more. Ricky does a nice job navigating this and picking up a good 6 yards, setting up a 3rd and short. 3rd and 1. We've seen this distance before and seemingly bad things happen. What is going to happen this time? Well, you can see, focus up here. You've got some questions about alignment. Ricky's like, okay, slide over. Okay, hold there. Okay, great. So we have 5 linemen. We have a 6th man on line of scrimmage, and then we're off the line of scrimmage here. Why is this? The only player that is eligible for to catch a pass, essentially, is the one who is on the line of scrimmage. He becomes like the boundary or the edge, if you will. So if Burke is to step up here and be on this line, then he essentially covers up Jackson, covers him up, and he is no longer eligible. Essentially, he's no longer a man on the line of scrimmage because this would be an illegal formation. So one of them has to be, as they are, behind the line. So this is okay. What that means is most likely on this play, and I can't know for sure, Odom is supposed to also be on the line. And if he was, then you would have 5, 6, and 7, and this play would have been legal. As it stood, you only have 6 men on the line of scrimmage, and that is a no-go. 3rd and 1, here we go. And nope, not going to work. Now, Florida does successfully run into the teeth here of an 8-man box. Nice job by the O-line to create a crease, but it's all for naught as Florida has a 5-yard penalty, and back again we go. 3rd and 6, heavy bunch set again from Florida. We've seen this a lot. Let's put everybody in a 10-yard window here and play in a telephone booth. The obligatory 9 guys in the box from Utah with 2 guys watching to see in case Florida does anything tricky. A lot of action in the backfield. Some pretty good blocking here on the left side by Florida. A nice little gain. Really, this play is designed to set up a closer 4th down. Florida knows they're going for 4th down. We've seen Billy do this before. When your passing offense is what it is, you're not going to take 2 shots at passing for it. You're going to try to set yourself up for a 4th and short, at least if you're Billy Napier. That's your mindset, and we'll see how that 4th and short works out. 4th and 3, we're going to bunch up everything in here again. Going to get a one-on-one with Douglas and this guy. And look, I think the reality is if you're Douglas and you're seeing this all day long, this is sort of a dream for you. Like as a wide receiver, you just dream of a safety being in the middle of the field that cannot stop a plethora of routes that you want to run. You want to run a corner route? Check. You want to run a deep come out? Check. You want to run an out route? Check. You want to run an in-out check? You want to run a whip route? You want to run even a slant route, right? All those routes are available to you. You basically have the full route tree available. So you want to run a fade stop? Correct. You want to run a back shoulder go? Correct. Like there's like a million routes you can run here. Florida, of course, is not going to elect to do that because why would they do that kind of stuff when instead they can do this stuff. Fake this handoff to Ricky. Again, we're facing in here, right? This is actually pretty interesting. An 8-man box. And Utah even thinks Florida's going to pass because they're going to put 3 guys back here. Like, certainly Florida's not going to try to run again out of this bunch set. Oh, but they are. And Utah wisely flares the outside here, trying to make sure nothing gets on the edge, and then stuffs up the middle to where we just don't really have anything going. And here comes a little shovel pass to Zanders. And Zanders is promptly bottled up by 3 guys 3 yards away from the goal. And Florida turns the ball over on downs. Again, I think it's very hard brand-wise. Florida, a passing school by nature, a school where most of its fans are aggressive and they want to see the house that Steve Spurrier built. They want to see action. They want to see excitement. This type of football, this type of mentality, I think is a brand mismatch for Florida. I think that's what makes this extra difficult. 1st and 10, take a look at Slaughter, starting his first game here as a freshman at center. Again, tall ask here. This is not picking on anyone, just to illustrate that perhaps Florida did not practice this. We're going to see the same defensive line shift. Here it is. Take a look right here. Defensive line shift and go. Boom, they shift. Slaughter jumps. Right? He's the center. He has the ball in his hands. He controls when he wants to snap. Mertz is not even remotely calling for the snap, right? We're doing the clap snap. No clap is there. Nothing's happening. The shift happens. And we're moving. Again, he has the ball. It doesn't matter what they do. He chooses when Florida goes. Gets spooked. That's going to be 5 yards. The area of major improvement that we've been noting on this film review is, in fact, the screen or behind the line of scrimmage passing. Although Mertz struggled to deliver quality passes, this one again a little behind Ricky here. Got some pressure. The design is very nice. Florida here, 2-on-2 in this. Motion across Frazier's. They do not come. They stay with their pressure off this side, which gives Florida a 3-on-2 early on. Take advantage of this. Give Ricky a clean race where a linebacker's not going to beat him to it. And a nice pickup on 1st and 15. So that, again, that's the major bright spot, in my opinion, was sort of Florida's behind the line of scrimmage screen game, which I thought struggled a lot last year, was much improved this year. 2nd and 3, and here we go again. If this is working, why not keep on doing it? Little slant route to draw the corner off. You know they're playing a lot of man. Let's get in the way of the linebacker. He's got to come down here and is responsible for the boundary side running back. Nice work by Douglas. Get in the way. You can do this because the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. Great block. Now we're out and about here with George running down the field. Little block there. Nice, easy gain on 2nd and 3. 1st and 10 now. Momentum seems to be building for Florida. They need to start to get back in this game. They are down 3 scores. It's not insurmountable. Utah showing pressure early. Florida, a zone blocking team. If you are the guard, in this case Mazuka, you need to be looking up to see if anyone is going to come into your window. If not, then you're going to help double here in the center and then move out, fan out, and take anybody who comes through. Looks like they're showing pressure. Should probably pay attention to this guy. We're not going to do it. We're immediately going to go here and do our job as if he wasn't in my gap, and now it's too late. Uh-oh, whoops, I see this. It's too late. Oh, no. We've got a free runner at the quarterback. We have a wide open guy here because of the pressure Utah brings. But that's going to get batted down because there's not one, but 2 guys running straight at our quarterback. Now, we've talked a lot about in the past Florida's lack of a quick game, or at least success thereof. Florida seemed to want to address that with screens, which they've done. I would still like to see Florida execute a better quick game, especially when it comes to what I'm going to call a 0 drop or a 1-step drop. So a much quicker game by your quarterback. This is still going to be a shotgun with a 3-step drop. Right? I think Florida would be well suited to have, again, a 0 or 1-step, which means you catch this, you sit right here, open up, boom, stick this throw. And if he had done that, this throw is here. Right now, this throw is here. Again, 0 drop, boom, stick, sit. And right now, you'd be delivering. Whoop, right in here. So again, I think Florida on film, there's not a lot of a 0 drop, as I'm going to call it. And I think that hurts Florida's ability to move the football. They also rarely will run a 0 drop and attack this part of the field, and teams know it. That affects what they do on offense. Here they actually go for it, but they take a 3-step drop, and unfortunately have a blocking fail with pressure, and something that would have been easily successful for a nice big gain in a 1st down turns into a deflected pass and an incompletion. Single high man yet again. A lot of opportunity for the passing game. Florida going to take a shot here with this go route from Ricky. Play action fake. Again, do you need this play action fake? Not really. You're going to throw this go route. These linebackers don't matter. But whatever. Let's run one because we want to. There it is. Play action fake. Mertz with plenty of time. Delivers an absolute dime. This is pass interference or holding. Pick whichever one you want. But that should be called. You cannot see Pearsall's left arm because it's being held down. This official is theoretically looking at it, decides not to make that call, and that's frustrating. That should be an automatic 1st down on 2nd and 10. As you can tell, Ricky pops up. Hey, man, I'm getting interfered with. Throw the flag. Yep, that's right. He can't believe it. We can't believe it. There's no flag. That's pretty frustrating. So great ball by Mertz. Good vertical call again. Florida often is sort of just left with running go routes versus man, which honestly is fine. If you can hit him. But as I've said before, and I'll say again, there's more that you can do when you're getting so much man coverage. You rarely see the basic combos that most teams will run. Slant wheels. There's a million different rub routes you can run. You just don't see a lot of that action from Florida. They kind of are playing this on hard mode. All right, 3rd down and 10. Florida, a big fat 0 for 8 on 3rd down. What do we see in the box here? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 8, 9, 10, 11. No, we got 6 in there. 6 in the box. Okay, this looks like a nice light box. We've been itching to run. 6 is what we want. We've got a numbers advantage here. Let's go for it. In fact, it's even fewer than 6, except this does not work, right? Florida, I mean, what the heck is this? First, let's look at Leonard. Nope, that's not a block. Get cast aside. Then let's look at Barber. Nope, that's not a block. Get cast aside. Then let's look at Slaughter. Nope, that's not a block. Get pushed through here. I mean, this right here on this play is ultra embarrassing. All Florida is trying to do here, zone out this way, block towards the sideline, zone out this way, block towards the sideline. We saw Florida do this very well last year, and if they do this, there's a nice big gap right here that, again, in the eyes of Billy Napier, we're trying to get to 4th down and 3 or 4, is going to work with this running play. Now, if you're me, pre-snap, and if you're others, you see this right here. Do you see this? This is a dream. That is what you call a dream. This guy may bump out here. If he doesn't, you stick this throw. Oh, look at that gift. Hello, freebie, easy money. But again, teams like Utah know that Florida does not have this in the playbook. They do not do this. It is not on film. Therefore, you can feel extra safe bringing pressure and even sending your safety back and allowing him to stay here flat on the route and giving you this quick seam throw because we're not going to throw it. All right, 4th and 9. If you have a sluggo on your bingo card, you win. Again, when is it good to run a slant and go? A, when you've completed a lot of slants. If you've been watching this film review, Florida has completed 0 slants. B, when a slant might result in a first down, like 3rd or 4th and short, right? Or C, when you know a corner just loves to jump slants. So D, when not to run it, is when you have 4th and 9. You don't have a lot of time because they've been pressuring the absolute crap out of you. And you don't even time your fake correctly. Look at Mertz. This is Mertz. Ready? Drop back. And pump fake. Okay, he's pump faking. We have not even begun to run the sluggo, right? Ready? Now, there's your slant right there. Now is when the fake should happen. Now we're pump faking to get this guy to bite on the sluggo. But in fact, we've already pump faked. Whoop. Now we're dropping back. Now we're turning up. The defender is already 5 yards cushioned here. You know what you could have done? You could have just run the slant. And in fact, other teams would have this as an option, where basically the wide receiver and quarterback are on the same page, and they see this cushion, and as soon as he runs and he sees the continued backpedal, he just stays home on the slant. Quarterback zings it in there. That's an option. You can do this on 4th and 9. In fact, it probably would have been a first down. Instead, we're committed to the sluggo, which is absolutely never going to be there. And on top of that, we've got issues. Again, over here, Florida zone. This is not working. Right here, right? Barber's going to fan out. We're going to get a little twist in here. Now this is the job of Richie Leonard to pass this off to Barber and slide to the inside. Slaughter correctly, again, for a young guy, sees he needs to get over there. He's just a step late. He does the right thing. He turns his head. He sees it. Doesn't get in there in time. And now he got issues, right? Boom, right to the quarterback. And we're losing more yards. 4th and 9 turns into a 10 or 12 yard loss on the sack. And it's still 24-3. Another excellent punt by Utah results on Florida being on the 1 yard line. Good times here. Let's see what Florida comes up with. Again, another loaded box by Utah. Just no real fear that Florida's going to do anything to hurt them here. Oftentimes in the 1 yard line, it's a good time to take a shot. Florida's going to run some play action. Simple play. Let's keep this easy. Let's throw it to Kelsey here. He's open. Nice play design. We're going to fake the split zone. Everyone's blocking this way. We've seen this exact play before. Another tight end here. Fake the split zone. Likely what Florida would run here. That engages everyone. That's what you want to see. And now we're going to take the easy throw to give ourselves some breathing room here to Odom. Stick that, and there he goes. Down the field, big gain. Nice play call, nice play design. Florida's still in this. I want you to note the time here at 1:09 when this play ends. At 1:09, we're down 3 scores. In my opinion, Florida should be in a 4-minute offense here. They want to be scoring with about 12 minutes left on the clock in the 4th quarter, so they can essentially kick off, play defense for 3 minutes, score again in a 4-minute or even 2-minute offense, play defense for 3 minutes, and then get the ball back again. No onside kick required. A 4-minute offense is what you are looking for. 1st and 10, time, beginning to become a factor here for Florida, as we just talked about. Utah, you're going to do something a little different here. We got a safety here and a safety off of your screen. So we're going to play too high, but we're going to sit him down here because we still think you might want to run the ball. Florida with numbers here in the running game. However, not a lot of success. Again, Odom playing tight end. Comes down, gets blocked, gets beat pretty badly. Meanwhile, down here in the box, what do we see? We see George get beat pretty badly. Boom. That's going to be no gain. No gain. 34 seconds left. What happens? Tick tock, 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 tick tock. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Mertz, come on. Mertz. Yep, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, boom. End of the 3rd quarter. We are down 24-3. There goes 1 minute and 9 seconds, and Florida runs 1 play. All right, start of the 4th quarter. At this point in time, Mertz wouldn't be wrong to think he probably doesn't have a lot of time to throw these routes. Here you're going to get a classic high-low hitch, and then 2 flat routes. Ideally, you want to read this high to low. Mertz is going to start here reading Ricky first high. Doesn't like it. Snaps right down to his low. Should have stuck in at the high over here as well. He actually has this hitch for about a 15-yard completion. Douglas breaks his guy off. He's bailing deep. He breaks him off easily. Mertz way too quickly comes off that and just settles for the check down. And that check down delivered there for just a few yards. So another tight end gets in the act there. Hayden Hansen catches that football, and everyone's getting on the act on the tight end side. Again, I think Florida's weakest position group, however, being heavily featured in this game plan here. Clock is running. Florida trying to score. Got man defense here again from Utah. Single high, and the routes you're going to see here from Florida, slant route and a hitch route. And again, questions. And I want to ask this question of you watching this. Why are we running a hitch route, right? Look at where the hitch sits right here when you have a slant route coming right here. This defender is naturally very close to this throw window. You could easily just run a whip out here or a pivot, or you could just run an out route, or you could just run anything that takes this guy over here because they're in man. And of course, you may not know they're in man. Well, if they're in zone, right, then you can run option routes, or you can still really just keep that combination away from your slant in general, because, here you go. So anyway, if you assume this is zone and not man, then you're hoping you hitch and occupy this guy and your corner bails and your slant is still there. But no matter what, you keep this guy in your slant window, right? So at least stem this route out to here so he slides, whatever. Details. This is close. Look at the window. It's close. No, it's okay. This window's here. Douglas is, in fact, there. Really tight window to make this throw. And we're going to get holding, rightfully so, on the DB right there. And Florida gets a first down on 3rd and 6. Can't count it as the first conversion because a penalty is not a conversion, so they are still over in the 4th quarter, but we are looking for the first one. Despite Florida's yardage dominance in the 3rd quarter, they got no points out of that. They are still down 24-3. Again here, Utah 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the line of scrimmage. Could be a simulated pressure where they drop back. Could be pressure where they come. Florida cannot know until this ball is snapped. However, you do want to have a hot read on here as a quarterback because you have to assume they are coming. And again, this is going to be about as quick of a quick game as you get from Florida. So we talked about that 0 or 1 step. There's your ball. There's a 1 and kind of a 1.5, 2. I know it's awkward, right? Not exactly the cleanest quick game. I'd rather see my quarterback take the snap 1 foot, sit, drive. That's what you want to do. Trust your offensive line. It's a very quick ball. They can't even get to you that quickly. Get this ball out. And in time here, again, these routes and what's happening, these are like the least efficient routes to me, right? Why? Because you have 2 defenders guarding 3, but again, they're all in zone. They're going to be looking back at your quarterback. If you take this shallow route this quickly, he has his back turned. It's the least effective and least dangerous route. If your back is turned, you are slow. Odom again, Kelsey gets the ball. He does a nice job actually opening his body. That's really nice work by Odom here. Opens up the body, allows himself to get a few more yards. But, again, what can you do here? Easily have a quick slant route here, right, in your hot game. And then this going at the same direction. If you get the slant route instead, you get momentum. That's how you get big plays. Nope, Florida's opting for a back turnaround, and a route that is really just a runoff. And so Odom, great job there. Again, really good job body control. Nice play. Pick up a few yards as the 4th quarter runs on. 3rd and 7 for Florida. 2 more minutes have gone off the clock. Florida's run several plays, largely not moved too much. Again, my target goal in 4 minutes was to score now. So perhaps Florida's going to throw a bomb right here and put one in the end zone. We get Ricky coming on the jet sweep. We're going to fake that jet sweep kind of. And then a nice advantage here by Florida. They're going to catch Utah overshifting to Ricky's side here, right? We're going to overshift, leaving a 2-on-1 over here. Great scenario on 3rd down and 7. Let's get a block here by Hansen, and let's get up the field here with our armada of blockers with Trey, our quickest athlete on offense. There he goes, shoots through the gap. Nice tackle there by Utah. Just kidding. 5 more yards. And a nice conversion on 3rd down and 7. Here we are. With 12 minutes left to go in the game, we have our first 3rd down conversion. Round of applause, everyone, No matter where you're watching this, round of applause for the Gators there, picking up their first third down conversion, a lot better than 0. It will be the only one they get. They picked it up on a screen pass, but they got it, and that particular pass actually worked out very well numbers-wise. So you like to see a good, solid numbers play. Florida still driving, clock still ticking. It's 2nd and 5, 11:23 left. Florida should be feeling the pressure of scoring here, although they're still taking quite a while to cue the plays in. Utah maintaining their aggressiveness, 7 in the box. Going to bring some pressure here again. And Florida, they could just take what was available to them, right? And we've talked about this a lot. Look at this cushion. This is a great cushion here. Again, this is Douglas, a guy you fancy as a really nice athlete. Utah's bailing almost every play. You could make this guy have to come up here by just sticking this throw over and over and over again until they have to come up. We're late in the fourth quarter. Florida's not done that. Instead, we're going to try a hitch and go. Now watch the timing of this one. Double move here we're going for, hitch and go, hitch. Hitch, hitch, hitch. We got several problems with that. 1, the defender is not looking. That's a problem. 2, it's way too early. We're 2 yards in the route. If you want to run this hitch fake, it needs to be right here. Because now a good corner who's feisty and wants a pick might start to come downhill and might even look at the quarterback to see what the quarterback's doing. And he does not do that. This guy, being well taught, playing man defense, knows when you're in man, do not look at the quarterback. The quarterback will only get you in trouble. Well, Mertz right away knows with this way too early hitch, whoop, that's too early. Okay, this guy's way back here, and he is not coming downhill. That is not going to be there. On top of that, as predicted and as always, I've got not 1 but 2 free guys running at me. I'm going to try to get out of here and live another day, which he does successfully. So nice work there. After yet another self-inflicted procedural penalty versus Florida on 3rd and 5, it's now 3rd and 10. And check this out. We called for this earlier. You know, it'd be great is if Florida started to actually run their halfbacks on like a halfback middle route to the middle of the field, because Florida tends not to attack that. Also still confusing, though, as you can see here. Let's look at the routes. Again, these don't make sense to me, right? You have a route here and a route here and a route here. I don't know. You tell me. 3 guys within 4 yards of each other. That makes sense to you? Great. They're not meshing. They're not crossing. Again, just explain to me what that is. It's not a screen. They're only looking to block afterwards. There's no real plan for that. But either way, Mertz gets this off. 4-man rush. Good protection. There's reason to believe that Florida's offensive line might be okay when they're not facing a bevy of pressure. They're not going to be great, as we've seen here, and they may not even be good. Might not even be okay. Maybe they'll be just okay in certain scenarios. But Florida, again, I think largely was the most dangerous when they were actually spreading the field with receivers out in this game, given the matchup. He looks at Ricky first, as he does, and then takes the halfback check down. So if the halfback's over here, probably not so good. However, here, we're actually going to gain some yards on 3rd down and 10. Not going to get the first down here, but again, make it 4th and manageable. 4th and 2, Florida starts in what looks to be the same bunch set they've been in before, only to then go into a different bunch set on the other side. So basically a flip of the play here. They just mirrored that play. Watch the action one more time. Bunch on the left and bunch on the right. Bunch on the left and bunch on the right. All right, Utah comes down. Utah, 9 guys in the box here, ready to stop the run on 4th and 2. You're not going to run on this. Florida says you're right, we're not going to. Instead, we're going to go for, again, this is like Florida's version of a quick game like we talk about here. Right, let's see, 1, 2 steps here. Think you can still do this in 1, but it's 2 steps here, ball delivered. Free rushers coming into his throwing lane here. This ball does get tipped. He is wide open. Ricky's wide open here. This play works very well. I like it. Good play design here. Easy first down. Let's look at the routes and what led to this. 9 guys in the box. Quick drop. I like that. Route combinations here that actually make sense to me. Right? So what do you get here? You're going to get a vertical route here, pulling the safety. You're going to get a flat route here, keeping the flat defender there, and you're going to get a defender here. This is a nice fanning concept here. 3 different zones you're attacking, all within 1 quick eye shot read for the quarterback. All of them could result in a first down. So this works out well. Florida converts on 4th and 2. All right, 1st and 10. Again, man defense here from Utah, single high, leaving 8 guys in the box because, hey, why not? 9:31. I wanted to score with 12 minutes left. We are now at 9:31. So Utah says, hey, let's press down here. We've certainly given them 10 yards of cushion before. Now we're going to press See what Florida does. Florida's like, oh, awesome. Now that you're pressing down there, I'm definitely throwing a bomb. We love that. Boom. Douglas releases on the outside. Douglas actually toasts this corner, by the way. You see, on TV, you really can't tell these things. Like on TV, you just see this, and you think, oh, man, he's bottled up. But no, Douglas blows by him. This ball's underthrown, and then it winds up just yoking that. I mean, that is yoke mode. Whoop, give me that ball. So much so that he actually pulls a magic trick on him. Is this David Blaine or is this Douglas? I don't know. It might be David Blaine because he thinks the ball's over here, right? Take a look. Yep, that ball is in the end zone somewhere. No, wait a minute. Maybe David Blaine has the ball in his hand. Oh my gosh. He's a magic man. Really, he can't even believe it. He's like, bro, that man's nice, right? That is nice. I mean, whoop, where's the ball? Where's the ball? It's right here. I got you. Great work by Douglas. You have to ask questions why Florida hadn't tried this earlier for a variety of reasons. They don't. And here you go. Now, watch how easily Douglas wins this release, right? Ready? Here we go. Little move to the inside, head fake. He is gone right now. He's already a yard or two ahead. By the time he gets here, he's a good boom. Notice how he completely stops. This ball's thrown deep here. He just runs underneath it and catches it. If you're even, you're leaving. If you're not even and you're already a yard or two ahead, you're really leaving. And right here, he already stops, slams on the brakes, adjusts to the ball, makes the catch. Great play by Douglas. Probably earning himself more opportunities to get plays like these. 2-point attempt, the second time all day we've seen an empty set. And hey, I love this play. This is a great play. This is a classic, but it's also really, really good for a lot of reasons. Utah's still playing man because they have zero respect for Florida's ability to pass. In fact, Utah's betting that they want to run this ball with Mertz. They think this is all window dressing. They don't want to throw it. Why not run the old standby? I love this play. The slant under here, right? This guy's just getting in the way. Natural pick, slant under, stick this in here. 2-point conversion, good to Trey. All right, the aforementioned 3 minutes were run off by Utah. So originally we wanted to score with 12 minutes, and that would have left us with 9 minutes. Well, now we have 6 minutes, so now we definitely need to be in the 2-minute drill, which would essentially allow us to get the ball back here. With 4 minutes left, we kick to them. We have 2 timeouts. We can get a stop, get the ball back with 2 minutes, maybe a minute 45 seconds, even if things go wrong and they get a first down, or as well as like 2.5, 3 minutes if things go well. Our defense is playing well in the second half. We got a shot for that. We need to run a 2-minute drill. Here we go. Let's make it happen. First down and 10. What do we get? Right away, not a hot start here by Odom/Travis Kelce. He's going to whiff that block, but no worries. We're a team. Etienne comes in here, makes up for his missed block earlier. Then George handles his block. Mazuka comes in to finish this block off. Okay, all right, look at this. We're functioning. Clean exit here for Mertz. Mertz slings to Trey. Trey gets the rock, first down. We're in business. Let's pay attention to the clock. Going to get a stemmed hitch route here. And then we're going to get a jet sweep fake by Trey here. Now, if you're Mertz, your read is pretty simple here. Pre-snap. Right now, it looks like he has 3-on-1. That's a no-go. But he knows he's going to have a jet sweep motioning over here. Here comes the jet sweep. Now as he opens up after the play fake, opens up to see the field, he's going to start on the left side, which would be correct. The numbers are better on the left side. He's going to work to the right side. Now he should know right away, even though he has not seen the right side in a second yet, that if there are 2 or even 3 defenders back here, no one is here. They all sank back. Take this throw and work the sideline. Instead, he's going to fit this throw in, and good for him. Fits this ball in, not the right throw here. Fits it in, though. We'll take that first down. 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 10. But again, this throw, dangerous playmaker in space, getting a chance to come down here is the more ideal throw. But 1st and 10, we're still moving. 5:31 left. Very next play here, a lot of confusion is going to ensue. First, we have a pump fake right here by Mertz. Pay attention, Mertz. Pump fake to nobody. Nobody's running anything worthy of a pump fake. And then the receivers themselves don't really seem to know what's happening. Ricky just stops. Now they all kind of stop. Like no one seems to be doing anything. Etienne's like, no worries, I got you guys. I'll run a route while you just chill. Stick me with the ball. Perfect. And then I'll beat all 3 Utah guys because I don't really know what's even happening. down. Certainly Trey doesn't know what's happening. He's looking at the sideline like, coach, that couldn't have been the play, right? Like, what is up? No worries. 4:56 on the clock, though, for that 3 yards that we got. Let's get to the line here and run something quickly. Full 30 seconds go by before we're about ready to snap the ball. There's a full 30. Here we go with our play. Offensive line holding up nicely. Going to get a sweet slam down here by George, which gets called for a penalty, which, by the way, I don't think this is. It's not holding. He spins. He's now allowed to do this. That's not holding to me just because he gets punked. Mertz doesn't like what he sees downfield, scrambles around kind of awkwardly, throws the ball basically straight sideways almost to Trey, but you can't blame him. Trey's making moves. And then Trey is going to absolutely freeze this man right here. Frozen. Right? Look, boom. Frozen. Gone. Doesn't even touch him. Doesn't even touch him. That's quickness for real, right? Up the sideline, picking up 10, 12 yards is a blur on your screen. Look at that. You don't even see the guy. Wham. So fast, right? Big pickup only for the fact this is Florida in the opening game, and obviously there's a flag that's going to come back for a holding that probably wasn't one, and negates that play. Clock at 4:16. Clock still running, 2nd and 17. You play the quarterback or the play caller, and take a look at this. In this case, let's play quarterback. Look, I like this now. Now we're in empty. This is good. I'm down for this. We're in empty. I love empty. It's my favorite formation. Let's make stuff happen. Let's ride. Ball to our playmakers, right? I like this. I like all of what I see with that right there. Let me hit that. Let me get that. Let's ride. Instead, we elect to not even look at our most dangerous playmaker. That's Trey right there. Ricky running unguarded. We're going to go to the side where there's actually 3 defenders flying over here and stick a confident pass into ETN, which is a really nice ball, and then get out of bounds. The only problem is, clock at 4:02, this is 2023. If you go out of bounds before 2 minutes left, the clock does not stop. Clock's not going to stop. We're still riding. This clock is still going. We're now down under 3:48. It's now 3rd down and 9. Here we go. All right, 4th and 3 for Florida. 2:56 now left. Florida still with 2 timeouts. They wisely do not use a timeout here, which is correct. Again, take a look at what you see. You play quarterback. You've got 3 here, possibly 4 here versus your 2. And you've got Ricky here. Now, you know Ricky's running a slant. You know you've got double slants here, right? So this is what you got. This is what you got as a quarterback, double slants. This guy can get into your slant window 100%. That's not ideal, right? He's a great candidate to get into your slant window, but so are these guys. So which way do you choose to go? It could be a huge decision. Ball is snapped. He's actually coming with pressure. This is where you want to be. He's going to be here, 3-on-2. This is not ideal, not the side you want to go to. Again, you cannot know that. I'm only bringing this up to kind of give you a little piece of what it's like to play quarterback. You can't know that, but you trust your boy Douglas. He's been delivering all game. They double the interior route, and they give you Douglas one-on-one, and that ball is put right on the money for an easy completion. Again, take a look. Right on the money. Good separation by Douglas. Nice, clean catch, and a 1st down. So Douglas, again, paying dividends here late for Florida. Clock at 2:50. Let's see where it picks up on the next play. Another 30 seconds runs off the clock here. Florida going to run. Again, watch these 2 receivers. I'm going to keep talking about it because I want you to see how close Florida's receivers are to each other. Now, look, it'd be one thing if they're going to stem and get on a safety and go 2-on-1. There's a lot of reasons why you could have even a trail or something close, but in reality, what happens is Ricky runs this corner and this go route's still there. Also fine. Down the field, you can 2-on-1 a safety that way, right? Imagine he's a sitter. You want to run the top of this off, and you want to hit the underneath part. Also fine here. Those routes right there are in play. This corner route is actually in play to throw over the top. Mertz looks at it, chooses not to take it. He probably should have taken it here instead. Takes off, gains a couple of yards. Clock ticking, now down at 2:18. You are now almost certainly in onside kick territory with your 2 timeouts, which is taking your chance to come back in this game and really reduced it, right? The onside kick rate in college football is less than 5%. You needed to be in the 2-minute drill. You were not. You're now in a 4-minute drill, and you still have not scored yet. Under 2 minutes, really need a score here now. Clock running, and we're going to get a score, except this corner blitz is going to ruin it for Florida. Well-timed corner blitz by Utah. They're bringing max pressure here, and this is just taking too long. It's not Mertz's fault. He tries to deliver it at the exact right time. Here comes Ricky running this post route here, and he just really can't throw it any earlier than that. Ugh, it's unfortunate. Really unfortunate, kind of how it went for Florida all day long. Would have been a touchdown, would have been 1 minute and 50 seconds left. Florida could have conceivably kicked off, gotten 3 quick stops, and gotten the ball back with maybe 50 seconds left. Still very doable. Down 6. Instead, that's missed, and we head down for 3rd and 8. All right, 3rd and 8. Let's check the play design again. It's obviously a favorite topic of mine. I think it's really important, and let's pause it. What is this? 3rd and 8. This is still crucial. You're on the road to win this game. What is this? Again, what is that? What is even happening here? I don't know. Maybe you know. Here's halfback middle route. That's at least nice. I like these halfbacks starting at least in the middle. Someone's covering that, but what is that over there? I really don't know. On top of that, what do we have here? We have a free release. Still bringing pressure at this stage of the game, knowing Florida needs to score quickly. Force the ball out of his hands, make a mistake, and instead get the sack, right? That's what you want. Again, so Utah really just disrespecting Florida's passing game in every way. Florida threw for 333 yards in this game, but as you're seeing on film, it was a very unusual 333, given Florida's 11 points in this game right now, and they obviously took 5 sacks, had tons of pressures, had lots of issues that were self-inflicted. Lots of interesting route combos where 2 defenders are standing here. I don't really know. But now it sets up a 4th and long with the game on the line. All right, 4th and long. Let's rally the troops and find a way to keep this ball game alive. Utah was 6, 7 in the box here. There's 6. There's your 7th. Playing off here. So what do you want to run if you're Florida on 4th and 14? It's not 4th and 40, right? You probably have things you can do here. You can probably try to get something. Utah is going to bring the house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Look, they're all coming. Bam. They're going to play 4 behind you because they don't think you can block that, and they're going to be right. Florida's not going to be able to block this, and Florida instead is going to try to run a little screen play here to Douglas with 2 blockers, 4 defenders. That math is not great. Maybe you get a hero play out of Douglas. That math is not great. What else can you do in these situations? As I say at the end of all these videos where Florida loses, well, look, for me, what I would love to see people do, and I'm going to keep saying it because I think one day it's going to happen, just take Ricky or any one of these guys who can throw, and all you do on hike is you do this. Imagine that for a second. Ready? Just imagine that for a second. Take one of these guys. Pick whichever one you want. Drop him back here. Let these 2 guys go out here like this. Send a guy out over here like this. He goes this way. He throws the ball back over here. You buy yourself the 3 seconds you need. This guy catches the ball. You now have 1, 2, 3 options. Plus, you could sit a 4 somewhere if you want here, and you actually give yourself the time. Just a way for you to buy time. I think if you're going to say that's not viable, but instead you'd rather do what Florida chose to do, which is throw this short screen pass and take your chances there, I would say, to me, that doesn't make any sense. I think it's a lot more viable to drop a guy back here, throw the ball backwards, and buy yourself time to make an actual pass downfield than to do this. I would also say you could take a snap and just backpedal 5 yards, take a 5-step drop, put your foot in the ground, and throw up a jump ball. You can do that too. So again, to me, both of those are more viable than a 2-on-4 with blockers here. So a 3-on-4 with your actual guy, right? But there's 4 tacklers, 2 blockers. These guys are going to recover over here. Take a look. That's a tall order. If he catches the ball right here, I don't know how that works. Either way, another sad ending for Florida. They go on the road, they lay an egg. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this now very long video, which hopefully you enjoyed, walking through all these various plays. I'll do shorter ones in the future, but this was the opening game. A lot of expectations for Billy and crew. I think the conclusion through 14 games of film review is that Billy Napier, in order to do its best for Florida, should really step down from offensive duties. That's not going to happen this season. There's not somebody on staff that you necessarily even think would be the kind of offensive person you'd want to have to be putting in charge of anything like that. It's not time. Give him the year. Maybe he turns it around. But I think the expectation needs to be for year 3 that there needs to be a total rehaul of the offense with the brand new offensive coordinator as free reign to do what he wants and run a system that is not only modern, but also I think fits the Florida brand, which helps not only with recruiting, but also I think with identity. And I think from now 14 games in, this system has enough flaws from one quarterback to the other, from one set of players to the other, that are consistent and consistently not ideal. This offense, it's hard to find a narrative where you say this can win a championship and this can win an SEC title. I think given who Florida has to play every single year, the margin for error is just too small. Now, not all of you may think that. That's fine. This is really just opinions given by me on this channel. But that is what I think the film says. And that's what I'm here for, is to give you film reviews and let you know what I think. So there you have it. I think Billy should do what's best for the team at the end of the season and relinquish all of his offensive duties, focus on being a CEO, culture builder, and recruiter, and then follow the details of other things like special teams, which obviously Florida struggled on in this particular game. Make sure all those departments are doing well as well. As always, I hope you enjoyed this film review. Leave me any comments and feedback that you have for the future. I'll be with you each and every week for the rest of the football season. I look forward to spending that time with you. Until next time, I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast.